Welcome, travelers. The coffee's hot! The signal is coming through. It's time for morning dive and a coffee! Woo! Wake up screaming through the morning haze. Sun's coming up on the old highway. Chrome shining bright on a brand new day. Pull into the diner, take a seat inside. Coffee on the table, join us for the ride. Caffeinated frequencies, it's just right. Neon signs glowing in the morning sun. Another day starting, another adventure's begun. There's a cowboy broadcasting from far away with 1,000-year story to tell today. Cowboy Dan signal crosses the line from the year 3020 back through time. A head in a jar with a dream to share. Sending stories through the digital air. Morning dive and a coffee. Pull up a chair and spend some time. Morning dive and a coffee. Pour another cup, let the conversation roll. Old memories, new stories, and a curious soul. From the open road to the edge of the sky, we're taking the dive, so come along for the ride. Morning dive and a coffee. Fuel the machine and ignite the day. Morning dive and a coffee. Around the corner comes the morning's crew. Familiar faces with a story or two. Dollar bin Dan's got treasures to share. Comic book memories floating through the air. Flipping through pages, chasing the past. Finding old heroes that forever last. From classic adventures and legends untold to the stories that made us brave and bold. Around this Route 66 diner table we meet with coffee, laughter, and a front row seat. No map required, no road signs needed. Just follow the stories wherever they're leading. From the cartoon realm where the impossible lives, to the future where the signal still gives. A little bit cowboy, a little bit strange. 1,000 years later, some things never change. The wheels keep turning, the radio plays. We're chasing memories through the highway haze. Morning dive and a coffee. Pull up a chair and spend some time. Morning dive and a coffee. Coffee cups shaking, the jukebox sings. Talking about heroes and forgotten things. Through every story, every laugh, every mile, the morning keeps rolling with a classic style. Morning dive and a coffee. Join the ride and stay a while. Morning dive and a coffee. The coffee is hot. This is morning dive and a coffee.
Hey, howdy, hey, boys and girls. KJCowboyDan here for another episode of Morning Dive and a Coffee, here with my good friend Dollar Bin Dan. How are you doing, Dan?
Man, I'm great today. Thank God it's Friday.
Oh, the TGIF. So, for those people who are watching in the VOD, I did miss out on Tuesday. Had some family affairs to deal with, but possibly good news for a lot of people. Not going to get into it right here, but for those people who know me, you know what's going on. Also, this month has been my subathon. We're trying to raise money to make sure that we pay for the stage, keep a watermark off of our show. If you guys are watching in the VOD later, or if you're out there on Twitter, Kick, Rumble, or YouTube right now watching, you can support the channel if you want and donate towards us having no watermark by going to twitter.com, x.com, or you can scan this QR code and you can donate to our channel. We're not monetized yet on YouTube, so any little bit helps. Our show is made possible by viewers like you. Once again, scan that QR code, take a screenshot, or if you have one of those smart devices, just click on the QR code and it'll bring you to a donation page. Anyhow, this has been my subathon week. I've been very busy, streaming a lot more than I usually do. Been playing a lot of Minecraft. Used to be a Minecraft streamer back a couple years ago, and I decided to pick it up for my subathon. And I've been trying to accomplish some tasks I've never done before, like beating the game. I've never beat the game. I usually use Minecraft like a very Lego-y style game where I just build things and relax. And so I never realized once you turned it on to hardcore mode that Minecraft is very much a 8-bit horror game.
I could see that.
Yeah, I think I don't think I've been so stressed out in my life playing a simple building game, a simple sandbox game. We used to have like a server where a bunch of our creator friends that I used to stream with would join us on Mondays and just sit there and chat and mindlessly build castles and things. And we had a huge server that I think we had like almost 30 people on there, and it got real clicky, and so like everybody was streaming at the same time. We required that everybody who was on the server when you played, you were streaming your content. And so like 2 or 3 shows were being broadcast at once with little groups of content creators building. And if I knew somebody was live, I'd go and make my way over to their build and interject myself into their talk.
Honestly, that sounds like a really fun way to do a show, is just have, people doing their own thing in a quote unquote studio space, and then just like, get bored going over to pop in there and make some trouble for them and then come back to your own. That sounds like it would be really fun.
Yeah. Before I ended up not being able to afford the server space for the game, I was building an in-game podcast studio where people who are on the server can go and like have their avatars sit and play or sit and do like an in-game podcast type idea. And unfortunately, funds started to run low and couldn't really do that. But hopefully we get monetized over on YouTube, and if we get some money coming in, or if people start donating to the channel, we might be able to do that again, or at least other games. Right now I'm doing a game night on Monday nights, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, very much so like the old arcade Ninja Turtles game. If you
I played that one a while back before I dumped my Xbox Live service.
Oh yeah. I just got 3 of my characters almost fully leveled up. We unlocked Casey, and hopefully I'll be able to afford to get the expansion pack where I could play as some of the alternate characters, some of the side characters that they did, like the rabbit, Yojimbo.
Usagi Yojimbo. Yep.
Yeah. But right now I haven't gotten the expansion pack, so I'm just playing on the regular service. But let's see what else has been going on over the last week. It's been wild. It's been crazy. Oh yeah, so I was talking about my Minecraft game, and so Sunday I was playing Minecraft and dying a lot, realizing that it's a horror game. That's where I was at, and I had almost 500 people watching my stream.
Wow.
I've never had that many people watch me play a video game, let alone anything. And I think it was just a fluke. The one day that YouTube decided to push me through the algorithm, I don't know. But I'm going to start doing Minecraft on Sundays if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, you can probably channel some traffic to your other projects through that too.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm also hoping that that's kind of like a marker that I'm starting to cross a certain border if YouTube wants to push this channel through the algorithm just even in the slightest. So what have you been doing all week?
While you were talking, I was sitting here thinking about that. I was like, what am I going to add to this? But this whole week has just been such a blur. Like, I haven't been to the comic shop. I haven't done much of anything but houseworking and errands. It seems
Sometimes we just got to do a little adulting. Now, today is our 10th episode, and if you've seen the thumbnail for today, right behind me in the image, a little coffee sign. It says coffee because adulting is hard. And that's the way I feel about a lot of things lately. Adulting is hard. And, since you've pretty much spent the week doing housework and whatnot, adulting is hard. Plus, you also got peacocks to take care of. I can't imagine that's
yes. Oh, that's what my dog has been sick as a dog. So
dog's been sick as a dog.
Yep. Kidney problems. Man. Ugh. That took up a lot of my week.
Back and forth to the vet, I imagine.
Yeah, back and forth to the vet, sitting around making sure he doesn't die.
Oh, no, knock on wood.
Getting him acclimated to special diet that he hates. And
how old is your dog?
He is a 14-and-a-half-year-old miniature Australian Shepherd.
14 and a half years old, midlife.
I wish. He's the best dog. If I could pick any animal to live forever, it would be him.
Oh man. I have 2 cats, 7 of feline and Q. Q is a menace.
Well, he would have to be if you name him Q.
Yeah. He's an orange cat, and my son's girlfriend has these Nightmare Before Christmas scrunchies that she got for her hair. And they're made out of plush fabric that is very similar to his toys. And he has claimed them, and I keep on having to take them away from him and put them back in the spot. And when I do, within 10 minutes, he goes and steals them yet once again. Before the show, I was trying to find him, make sure the door was closed because he had done it again.
And just tie him all to his tail. He'll get sick of him.
Oh, right. I'm pretty sure that would give him more of an excuse to play with them. Yeah, and let's see what else. A couple of weeks ago we were talking about Batman, the Batman Cape Crusader TV series.
Yes,
I finally gave it a watch,
and
I'm not too thrilled. Not too thrilled. Okay, for an Elseworld storyline, I'm gonna say it's an Elseworld storyline. It's definitely not prime Batman continuity. But I was not too thrilled with the Penguin character. It's not the fact that they turned Penguin into a female character. I didn't like the storyline they gave it. They gave the Penguin.
And the other thing, making the penguin a cabaret singer,
Yes.
that was a
Yeah.
really weird choice.
Yeah. I didn't like that storyline that they gave. Although I did like the Clayface episode.
Yeah, I never made it past Penguin.
Uh,
I
I
figured if
watched
that was what they were leading with, it wasn't gonna get much better.
I watched the first 5 episodes. They were temporarily free to watch on YouTube, so I decided why not, check them out. I had nothing else better to do. The Clayface episode was good. The Catwoman thing was all right. It could have been better. I saw where they were going with that, and it was all right. I saw like a lot of like they were trying to make like Batman Year One references. They were trying to make uh Dark Knight references as well, but with this whole like Elseworlds, everybody's changed up and they changed everybody's origin stories.
Yeah, a friend of mine told me season 2 got better, but he told me that by describing the new Riddler, and basically he's just a complete, he tells riddles, but because he riddles people with bullets.
Oh,
And I was like, that is the worst dad joke I've ever heard in my life. That's not a hook.
yeah. My Friday night co-host is making a return tonight. He told me, he says, just give it a watch. Watch it with an open mind and just keep reminding yourself Elseworlds, Elseworlds, Elseworlds.
My thing with Elseworld story is 9 times out of 10, and the same thing with What If. 9 times out of 10, if the idea had been that good, they would have done it in the mainline story.
Yeah.
And you have to have for me to get into an Elseworlds, you have to have a really compelling hook. Something that we just never would have seen or thought of. And I don't know. The Caped Crusader, it just isn't it for me.
No, it didn't really hit, did it? One of the problems I had with it was that the storyline didn't seem consistent. And that tends to be an issue for me. Give me a consistent storyline. Give me characters I want to believe can exist, even though it's a cartoon. Now they took. I was not very thrilled with how they did Harley Quinn. Like they throughout the beginning of the first 5 episodes, they had her there doing her shrink thing, and I think episode 3 they had Bruce Wayne going to Harley Quinn as a patient based off of Alfred's recommendation. And they were going one way with it, like he's a patient, and like they kind of made a reference like he was kind of investigating her and didn't but at the same time, so he quits being a patient of hers. Couple episodes later, turns out she's brainwashing people to be criminals for her. And the only thing that they got was that she's a jester.
Yeah, and that costume redesign, I never saw the episode, but I did see the pictures of the costume redesign they did for her. Again, I just didn't like it.
No, it was not good.
It was very generic to me. It didn't speak to that particular character. It was just like somebody copied something off the back of a playing card or something.
No, it was not good. I did not enjoy it. And they apparently either removed the Joker storyline or revolving around her becoming Harley Quinn, or they just removed the Joker altogether. I don't know. I haven't watched season 2 yet, or the other half of season 1. I kind of like dropped it right there, but I'm gonna try to give it a watch through here again. I have a website to it on, well, Amazon, uh, and I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch the rest of it here. They just released season 2, so I'm assuming that people liked it enough for them to want to put it there. I don't know why they released it to Amazon and instead of putting it on like the HBO Max, where all the other
Because Warner
DC
Brothers
stuff
rejected
is.
it.
Warner, Warner
It's
Brothers.
true. Warner Brothers said Warner Brothers passed on it. They didn't want it. So Bruce Timm shopped it at Amazon. That's what I heard. I don't say that as a fact, but that's what I've heard.
Makes sense, but at the same time, you'd think if they didn't like it, they wouldn't have released it at all because, Warner Brothers being the holding DC Comics.
Yeah,
But
I really don't know what was behind that decision. I mean, Amazon has made some very questionable decisions as far as media goes, in my opinion. So I'm looking at you, Rings of Power.
I was going to say Rings of Power, yeah, which has a 3rd season coming out for some strange reason.
Now, if you've got Amazon and you're looking for something good to watch, they are they're restreaming 12 Monkeys from Sci-Fi.
The TV series. No kidding.
Yep. So me and my wife have been watching that, and that's a very good show.
Yeah, I liked that show. I liked it. It was much different than it was much different than you'd expect if you hadn't seen it. It's not like the movie.
Well, nothing is like a Terry Gilliam movie, but
Yeah.
But that's very true. It like the first season very loosely takes the premise of the movie, but season 2 and on goes in a completely new direction.
There's a show that I want to watch. I believe it's on Apple Television, and I don't have Apple Television other than on my phone. And it is it is a show that takes all the kaiju monsters, particularly based around Godzilla.
Oh, is that Kurt Russell show?
Yeah, it's Kurt Russell's in it. Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
It is called Monarch,
Yes.
Legacy of Monsters.
That's the one.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
I heard that there's the star of the show is Kurt Russell, but his character, you follow him in the present when he's older as Kurt Russell, but you also follow him in the past where he's played by his son, Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt Russell, yeah. For those people who don't remember Wyatt Russell's a U.S. agent in the Marvel Universe.
That's right. He was in the Thunderbolts movie and the Captain America and Bucky show.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I really don't like Falcon as Captain America in that continuity. Like I don't mind that he gets, and like even in the comic books he gets the shield, but the order that they give out the shield in this Marvel universe is kind of a little off, you know.
I've never been a big fan of replacement characters anyway. I'm kind of a purist. I like I like Peter Parker as Spider-Man. I like Odinson as Thor. I like
Yeah.
Steve Rogers is Captain. It's, that's just kind of my thing. But my
Yeah.
other thing is, a lot of these characters' identities are getting so watered down because all of their supporting cast also has to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Mary Jane is Venom, Lois Lane is Superwoman. I'm surprised Robbie Robertson hasn't joined the Fantastic Four.
So I saw this thing about like Marvel versus DC, and DC has, while they have a lot of superpowered characters, the world is in Marvel is pretty much for every third person is a superpowered being, where in DC, like, it's more like every fifth person is a superpowered being.
Yeah, but they compensate for that by having 12 Green Lanterns on Earth at one time.
Oh yeah, they kind of went a little wild on how many lanterns are in the Lantern Corps, let alone Earth Green Lanterns. It used to be like I always used to, now it might not be the actual canon, but it used to seem like they only had one lantern per planet.
Not per planet, per sector.
Per sector, yeah, so
there was like they said something one time. They're like, there's over 1,000 star systems in each sector, but yet all the Green Lanterns in Sector 2814 are just hanging out on Earth. But I mean, I don't understand why they keep doing it. Like there's got to be at least 8 Flashes now. The Bat family is ridiculous. Every time somebody writes Batman, and he's like, I'm a loner. I'm just like, oh God.
You're a loner, but then you have like 20 sidekicks.
Yeah, you've got 18 full spare bedrooms in the Bat Cave.
All right. How many more rooms are left at Wayne Manor?
It's like he's running a halfway house for burgeoning superheroes.
All right. Who wants to be the next Robin?
Take a number.
Out.
We'll measure you for your costume and a coffin.
Yeah. I kind of want to be in charge of the hiring process for that. Ooh, I'm sorry. Damian Wayne, you might want to go down to casting, because I think we're going to get rid of you.
Not a big Damian Wayne fan, huh?
No, I don't like Damian Wayne. Like I really like the whole Ra's al Ghul storyline, and like the fact that Bruce hooked up with Talia al Ghul for a while, but but having Talia come back, by the way, this is your kid.
Yeah. Then she drops him off. Then she doesn't like the way Bruce raised him, so she tries to kill her own kid. No, I take that back. Literally does kill her own kid. So yeah, that's some family drama for you.
Oh man, I'm definitely not a big fan.
Okay, so who is your favorite Robin? Like out of the 25 or so that there've been.
I'm very I'm traditional. In my eyes, he's only going to have one ward.
Really, Dick, all the way, huh?
Yeah.
Wait, let me rephrase that. Robin 1 all the way.
Robin 1 all the way. And back in the day, I was very concerned. I'm like, wait, you're sending him off to a group of teenagers to pretty much be all alone and hang out and fight crime on their own. This isn't going to work out very well. But Titans worked out pretty well. I enjoyed the storyline where he turned into Nightwing.
And Nightwing as a character has become a great character in his own right.
Right.
I gotta.
And
My favorite
sorry.
dynamic, I think, was in the '90s when you had Tim Drake as Robin, Jason was dead, and Dick was established as Nightwing. That was always my favorite dynamic. I thought that was just the right amount of supporting cast. You had a successor for Batman who's also doing his own thing that was raised by Batman. Then you had, Tim Drake as Robin filling those shoes.
Yeah.
And of course, the fact that Alan Grant and Norm Brayfogle were involved in that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I did. I did to a certain degree approve that we had gotten a second Robin when Robin became Nightwing, and you know, um, I'm not a Damien fan, and when we started getting Robins just to kill them off, that was kind of like okay, that turned into an issue. I mean, sure, what was it the Killing Joke? Was that where they killed Robin off?
No, that was
One of the
a
Robins?
Death in the Family.
Death in the Family. That's right. That was a good storyline, but then when it became kind of repetitive. Okay, we want a new Robin. We have to have a reason to have a new Robin. You know, I although I'm very traditionalist when it comes down to my Robins. If we're gonna have Batman 1 week be a loner and 1 week not, then fine. I kind of want them to do a Batman Beyond movie, you know. Show me an elderly Batman and then have his successor come in.
You know what? You've got some Batman actors who have aged out of the role, like
Yeah.
Michael Keaton. I almost said Val Kilmer. George Clooney.
George Clooney.
They've definitely aged out of playing Batman. So you get some young upstart in there to be Terry. Throw in one of our established Batmans. I think that would really, really work.
Oh, absolutely. I think I'll go with the Keaton Batman. He's always been my favorite of the more modern Dark Knights. Really quick here, I want to say hi to Captain Garatina. Thanks for joining us this morning.
What's going on, Cap?
Captain Garatina recently he moved up in the ranks. He hit like the next marker in his following up on YouTube. So congratulations there.
All right.
Yeah. I was thinking about Batman, and I definitely want to see like a Batman Beyond movie come out soon, or at least maybe even a live action television series. But we haven't seen much of a live action Batman. I think at all, with the exception of Kevin Conroy coming back to play him twice on the CW for like small appearances, once on Batwoman and I think once in the I think it's a Flash. Was it the Flash when they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths?
It actually was all of them. It was a crossover with all the CW shows at the time.
Oh, was it?
So I don't
Yeah,
remember
that's
which
right.
show specifically his cameo was in. But I think that a Batman
think it might
Beyond
have been
would have to be a movie because that would be very effects heavy. You'd have to create a future landscape. That costume would be very tricky. I just don't think you could financially get a good Batman Beyond show off the ground.
Get the animation staff who did the Iron Spider thing for the MCU.
Yep. But those movies made $1 billion.
Yeah.
They could afford it.
With the direction that DC's been going lately, I don't think that they'd invest that kind of money. I'm fairly certain that the Ellisons, if they do get that Warner Brothers merger through, I don't even think they're going to invest that much money into it unless they do another like reboot of the DCU. I'm tired of reboots.
Well, my thing, at least James Gunn didn't start with a bunch of origin stories. That's one thing I can say about him.
And I did like his take on Guy Gardner. While I was not a big fan of the rest of the stuff that he's been doing with that series, I do like Guy Gardner in that role.
I think that if Man of Tomorrow, the next Superman movie, I really believe if that doesn't take off like a scalded dog in at the box office, that they're going to shit can Gunn, because Supergirl left a lot of egg on his face.
It did, and
especially once it was revealed that Spider-Man in ticket pre-sales beat Supergirl's entire domestic run.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
Disney's kind of hoping that Avengers Doomsday is going to do something, so much in fact that I think that Disney has no faith in Avengers Doomsday, because they, as of today, they're going to start releasing pre-sale tickets to theaters on a movie that's in December.
I think
it's going to be the earliest that Disney's released pre-sale tickets on any movie ever.
Listen, if they don't have a confidence in this movie, they sure are dumping a ton of money into it. Do you know how much money they gave Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh, just to get him to come back? Yeah,
I mean, they shy of $100 million.
Because up until this movie, he kept on saying he's never returning to the role. They gave him the appropriate send off as far as he was concerned.
$90 million and his own private compound on set, along with 24 hours security and a whole bunch of other stuff.
I think that they're just trying to throw money at something to bring it back to life. You know, here we're going to throw as much money as we can in life support. That's what it seems like they're doing with the whole Marvel universe. It doesn't seem like they have confidence in it. Why would you like do a world record box office ticket sales so early, unless you're hoping that people would buy the tickets now, forget that they bought the tickets, and say, well, we sold so many tickets on it. It doesn't seem to me like they have any faith in the movie pulling a stunt like that.
I'm not sure I agree with that specific take. I think they're just trying to get as much money in the door as early as possible, just because they're bleeding it everywhere else. Although Brand New Day would have given them a nice shot in the arm, but at the end of the day, that's a Sony movie, not a Disney Marvel movie.
Right. And unless they
might be trying to capitalize on the money Spider-Man is raking in right now by saying, hey, Spider-Man, Doomsday, both Marvel, why don't you feed some of that money here?
That's what I'm thinking, which kind of leads into my very hot take. They also they're still doing reshoots, from what I understand, on certain scenes. So
really, I heard that movie was in.
They had it canned, and then they did a recently. I just saw an article that said that they did a one of those test screenings, and it didn't go very well. So they're gonna minor reshoots.
That's never a good sign.
You know, but until like they get things like all set up, you can do reshoots as much as you want, and who knows, maybe some of these reshoots might be just like bonus footage or whatever.
That's true, because if you remember, Robert Downey Jr., when they did the premiere of the first Avengers movie, he made a crack that they were going back to do some reshoots. the next day after the movie premiere.
Yeah.
What it ended up being was they shot the falafel scene at the end, the
Yeah.
post-credit scene.
The post-credit scene that wasn't in the original release.
Right. So maybe it's something, maybe they're just tacking on some stuff to kind of smooth out some rough edges.
But also, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, you know, maybe some stuff that might be for a extended release. They've been doing that a lot lately. They did that with well, Sony did that with the previous Spider-Man. They released it, then added some scenes, and then re-released it.
They're
But
doing that with Endgame next month. They're going to re-release Endgame, not next month, in maybe November or October. They're going to re-release it with new footage that ties it directly into Doomsday.
Yeah. So
Which, I don't think I'm going to be spending money for that.
I don't know. I might. So last week we were having a little audio difficulty, and so you didn't get to finish up your Spider-Man review.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be covering any new ground, but I really enjoyed the movie. The whole Sadie Sink, who's she going to play, hullabaloo. When it was revealed that it was just who everybody assumed it was going to be, it felt kind of a letdown. Like, why did you so vehemently deny that for all that time? And I wasn't a big fan of them making Jean Grey just like casually murder people all the time. I saw at least 3 people die at her hands in that movie. And, you know, that's not including whatever carnage we weren't privy to, like what she was doing in the damage control building before Spidey got there. Like just throwing that old guy's body in front of a taxi cab. That was some pretty dark stuff for, you know, a teenage girl.
Yeah.
Especially one that we're supposed to, you know, eventually form an attachment to as a hero. I didn't like that.
My main concern about that film was that I felt like there was scenes that were leaked that we didn't see. Like I wanted to see the tarantula scene that it, and they just put it as like a small little blurb at a montage at the beginning of the movie. And I feel like I saw like a larger leaked scene when I was watching some of the leaks. And so I'm hoping they do a re-release of it like they did with the last Spider-Man movie, so that way we get to see that scene. And while a lot of people complain that like the cast was too large, I felt like it was a smaller cast in the long run than the previous Spider-Man movie, you know?
That's true. I mean, let's see, the movie really focused, Ned was kind of a side character. MJ was a supporting character. You had Frank Castle and you had Sadie Sink as the villain, and that was pretty much it. You didn't really have Happy Hogan. You didn't have May, except for a few, you know, flashbacks. She wasn't a character in the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say, you know, no Tony Stark or, oh no, you had the Hulk too, Bruce Banner.
Yeah, we had the Hulk. I kind of did like that aspect. Like we kind of like went with a back to I'm not a big, I never was, even in the comic book days, never was a big fan of the smart Hulk. I was really more a traditionalist with like I like Hulk being Hulk smash, Hulk dumb, you know,
The Savage Hulk.
More savage Hulk, you know, and so like I was never a big fan of Professor Hulk. They always lately call him Smart Hulk, but I always called him Professor Hulk, you know.
Yeah.
That was
no, and I agree. As like as a short term like alternate version, it's not bad, but as like the full time status quo for the Hulk, it's not nearly as interesting. as the man monster dichotomy of the Savage Hulk.
Like comic book days, I kind of liked Professor Hulk went like around the time of Jean Grey Cyclops when they got married, you know, and you had him there in the wedding party. You remember the comic book when Jean Grey and Cyclops got married?
I don't.
Okay, so they were doing the Professor Hulk thing back then, and like at that point in time, you know, you want to have Hulk, not Bruce Banner, drawn into the thing. So having like a more docile Hulk was appropriate, you know, but like I'm just not a big fan of it, you know.
The Professor Hulk as a suit he puts on for formal functions.
Yeah,
It's kind of hysterical.
Yeah. Like, but then again, like, I want my Hulk to be Bruce Banner, one identity, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of character that they kind of like built the Hulk around, you know. Something that's going to smash, and then something that's on the side that's going to be more human, and not necessarily looking for a Bill Bixby, but at the same time, you know, I just want like two different sides to Hulk, because I mean, like, I grew up with that whole Hulk being two different mindsets. You know, you got your more human side, which was Bruce Banner. And then you had your, you made me mad. I'm going to jump around, destroy a few cities in Texas, and destroy a few cities in around the United States, jump around. All of a sudden be in Queens, New York, when you were just in Texas or whatever in the previous issue of Incredible Hulk, and now you're in Web of Spider-Man, fighting Spider-Man. I loved that, you know, like, hey, you know, storyline resolved, and now he's mad again in New York.
Yep.
But I did like the scenes, very comic book like, with Peter Parker and the Punisher. Now, I want to know. Now, I don't recall reading in the comic books whatever happened in Staten Island. What is the running gag going on there? Do you remember that? Is it a comic book reference, or did they just like decide to throw that in there as just a little gag?
You know, I keep meaning to look that up and see what the deal is with it, but I keep forgetting. I don't know it off the top of my head. I haven't read a lot of Punisher comics. Read quite a few Spider-Man comics, but I don't remember anything with the Punisher on Staten Island.
Right. Because I remember, like, I was throughout the entire movie, they were doing that running gag. Well, the incident in Staten Island, you know, and I'm like, what the heck happened in Staten Island? I don't remember that storyline, if it was like a legit storyline or not. And I'm hoping that it's a legit storyline, because if it is, that's a line that I want to get and read.
Yep. It's always nice being able to get those little inside jokes.
Yeah, you know, knowing my luck, though, it's just some writer just said, you know what, we're going to throw in a running gag and leave it at that. It was nice to have more of a street level superhero movie, though.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And I hope that Disney took some notes when they do a few more of their Disney Plus TV shows, which rumor has it they've canceled a few of theirs.
Yes. Wonder Man season 2 was definitely canceled while they were in the middle of making it. Although I got to tell you, I hated season 1. So
I've never been much of a Wonder Man fan anyway. I think Disney's been choosing the wrong titles to do their Disney Plus shows on. Like a lot of people didn't like She-Hulk, but I always said, if you've read She-Hulk, then you would have known that was the wrong title to pick. People wanted to continue an Avengers storyline, not have some character that didn't want to be a superhero. And that's what She Hulk was. That's kind of like, if you remember reading the comic books, Wonder Man really didn't care about being a superhero. He just wanted to be a movie star.
Yeah.
And, you know, give people the superhero movies they want. Don't give people the storylines that are just like, eh.
Yeah, I can turn on Netflix and watch 100 shows about a struggling actor who wants to make it in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Simon Williams trying to do it with superpowers isn't that you barely see or mention or do anything with. Why even have it in there? It didn't. I don't know. There was a lot of things they did in that show. I will say, however, that I did love watching Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery.
Yeah, I like that character. Even though I was kind of like, okay, we didn't do the 12 rings right in the first Iron Man movie, and then we finally did. We kind of retconned that in the short where Trevor Slattery gets abducted out of prison. Did you see that short on Disney Plus?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we got the 10 Rings almost the whole 10 Ring storyline almost done right with that movie Shang-Chi. And I was like, okay, we're moving in the right direction. And then I really liked that character. Since they fixed the character, they added, the fake, have him
Mandarin.
being the fake Mandarin. Yeah, my brain coffee's still barely clicking over the fake Mandarin. I liked that character. I liked the retcon they did. It worked well for me. Yeah. I kind of want them to do more with him. I don't know what whether it be just like have him just randomly show up, the one guy who has nothing to do with anything. I always liked that character in the comic books. The one, you got to have your more human characters. Your guy who's not a superhero. Get him and have him get into trouble for some reason or another.
That's the whole reason there's a Jimmy Olsen.
Right. But then you make Jimmy Olsen a Plastic Man kind of character, and
don't forget also a giant dragon turtle.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I really like that character. So oh, before I forget, we did recently. Today is the 10th episode of our show. So those of you guys joining us, just wanted to show you guys that we do have some things all set up for our friends over there in the viewership and whatnot who want to support the channel. We just released 2 versions of our coffee mug, the Morning Dive and a coffee mug, the official beverage container of your coffee, your morning coffee. Now, real quick, I want to show you guys we updated the website for the Live with KJCowboyDan gear site where you can get any of the gear that I designed. And this is our website. Now, if you scroll down over to the kitchen and dining area, right on the front page is one of the versions of the Morning Dive in a coffee mug. We have it in white and we also have it in black. Oh, there you are, Dan, displaying that cup nice and prominently. Now you can get it in black or you can get it in white with a red trim. These coffee cups are dishwasher safe. They're ceramic. I actually have my Live with Cowboy Dan coffee cup that is very well seasoned. I'm planning on getting the Morning Dive in a coffee mug for myself as well. I think I'm going to get it in both colors. You can get it for $14.99, and it comes in two sizes: an 11 ounce for $14.99. I mean $14, and also a 15 ounce, which is even bigger, by a whole ounce. Yeah. That's an ounce more of coffee that you can drink, and that is $15. But you do get a discount if you use KJCowboyDan 26, or actually KJCBD 26 at checkout, or if you scan this QR code, you can get a discount as well. It's a 10% discount. That's virtually taxless for anybody who wants to get the official coffee mug. There's also a lot of other fun gear on the site as well. Feel free to check that out. Go and get your coffee cup today. They went live last week, right after our show. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about how, like, I noticed like a bunch of comic book shops are going out of business, and one of which was Dark Horse Comics. They closed down their Oregon locations and their California location. Wild.
Yes.
They kicked out their CEO.
Yeah, it's been a big shakeup over there. I was reading about it this morning, and like the parent company that owns Dark Horse Media now looks like they're trying to shift that over to games. So Dark Horse might be doing a lot more of the video games. Plus, the parent company, Fellowship Entertainment, owns Crystal Dynamics, the video game company. And they also
Right.
own the intellectual property rights for both Tomb Raider and Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
So we could be getting some Tolkien-centric Dark Horse media.
that explains why Dark Horse has gotten the Magic and Dungeons and Dragons contract with Hasbro. So they had recently announced that they will be doing Dungeons and Dragons as a 4-issue miniseries, and also potentially leading into a Magic the Gathering miniseries as well. So, and I guess they just launched the Dungeons and Dragons miniseries, and it's called Total Party Killers.
Huh. Does Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons share any of their DNA?
Like, they do. After Magic the Gathering was purchased, after Dungeons and Dragons was purchased by Wizards of the Coast, they kind of merged them together. They share a universe together now.
Okay, and you can get Dungeons and Dragons characters as Magic the Gathering cards and such.
Okay. They've done a couple Dungeons and Dragons Magic the Gathering expansions.
But those two games didn't grow out of the same original IP.
No, they didn't. They were Dungeons and Dragons was from a book publishing company that was purchased by Wizards of the Coast, and they ended up merging them in. They ended up even giving them a shared universe through a video game that is under a Hasbro contract as well. Yeah. can't remember what the name of the video game is right off the hand, but yeah, they share a universe now. They kind of merge them in. They're part of that whole universes beyond for Magic the Gathering, and they've even started sharing a lot of the lore between each other as well. Another thing that Dark Horse has picked up is they also picked up the Mattel contract, where at Comic-Con this year, they announced that a new multi-year partnership with Mattel for Barbie comic books, which means Marvel no longer has that series, most likely, because usually you don't see the same titles under two publishing companies.
Didn't Dark Horse used to have a contract with Hasbro for Transformers and G.I. Joe and stuff like that?
They did, but I think when Paramount moved they're now with not Dynamite, but the other one.
Skybound.
Yeah, Skybound. Yeah, it was Skybound. Now Paramount moved to Skybound, but Paramount's been known to bounce around. They well, Transformers has bounced around from Marvel to Skybound to they've been through the publishing circuit with their stuff, and same with Mattel with G.I. Joe, and
G.I.
we
Joe's
know
not Hasbro?
it might be Hasbro. I thought it was Mattel, but it might be Hasbro. But I know that G.I. Joe has a shared universe with Transformers and The Mask, which is going to be doing a collaborative comic book series as well.
Mask. That's that cartoon from the 80s, right? You're not talking about the Jim Carrey, Doug Mink.
Yeah,
comic, right?
yeah, the cartoon from the 80s with the cars that fly and transform into flying cars, and they had like these if you had the action figures, they had like these little awesome little helmets that they put on that kind of look like I guess overgrown gas masks in it.
I remember those. I actually had, who was the leader? He had blonde hair and he had the red car and the wings.
Oh
the
yeah,
doors.
yeah. I don't remember the names of the characters, but I had the cars. I had the red one. I had those cars. They were fun. So with Dark Horse Comics, the not too long ago, the founder of Dark Horse Comics, the CEO, was fired from his own company, and then all of a sudden they had announced that they're going to go unionized. And a company that's struggling, while it doesn't sound like they're struggling, but when you hear about like, okay, well, they fired their CEO and founder, but they've gotten new contracts. They're having publishing issues. They've closed down their comic book shops, but they seem to be more of a tech bro company now, by buying into video game development companies. I think that they're probably on their last legs for the comic book world, to be honest with you, but they're unionizing now that they've fired their CEO. It really sucks to be to be somebody who created a business, a publishing house, so to speak, for comic books, being the creator of it, and then being fired from something that you created. But
here, you want to know something interesting I found out while I was researching this? Is that they may have fired him and he may not, be associated with Dark Horse Comics anymore, but he still owns the buildings that Dark Horse Comics, or that Dark Horse Media, is in. So he is now the landlord for the people that fired him from his own company. I find that hysterical.
Real quick, that is hilarious. You're kind of in charge of taking the rent. We got the collector hanging out in chat. He says, "Good morning. Made it for the Dark Horse discussion. That should be revealing." Oh my! Born in 1975, Germany. I was born into D&D role play. And what have we done to deserve this? Then
The eternal
he
cry
said,
of the
"Mass."
fan of pop culture.
Yeah, I know. What have we done to deserve this? I keep on saying with that, as with the Batman stuff that they've been putting out, and also the Disney Marvel
And the
stuff.
Star Trek and the Star Wars and the just take your freaking
Yeah.
pick, man.
What have we done to deserve this?
I definitely feel your pain.
We live in an alternate universe. He says, "I can deliver on the topic." Hey, collector, we ought to invite you to the show one morning, and you can hang out with us and talk about a few of these things. If you have some information, we wouldn't mind bringing you on the show.
Yeah, we'll have the first live
says,
show in history devoted to Mobile Armored Strike Command.
Oh, yeah. Dark Horse is making a huge mistake by trying to digitize. Yeah, that's another thing they want to do is they might be following the trend of DC and Marvel by doing like also webtoons as well. I'm not a big fan of the webtoon stuff that they've been putting out there, even though like there's some webtoon stuff that I do like. The stuff that the big production houses shouldn't be touching webtoons. It's designed for manga and small creators who's trying to make it.
The other thing about DC and Marvel is that a big thing that drives their comic sales is the secondhand market, the collectible market. People buy comics on spec, hoping that they will eventually become valuable. That's one of the things that drives their sales. Now, if you go to a completely digital business model, you're not putting out a physical product anymore. So there's no secondary product. There's no product to put on the secondary market and no incentive for those people who are buying on spec to invest in new comics.
Right. And having like the comic book industry going the way it's going right now, where it's already struggling as it is, mom and pops companies, mom and pops, like, well, particularly shops are struggling. While you still see some of the bigger shops still open and their collections have gotten smaller. Like I've been watching shops left and right close. I have while I do support my local comic book shop, I'm often found buying long boxes on eBay whenever I see them come up for auction. So, like, and every time I do, I always say, "Rest in peace, former comic book shop that has to sell a long box at a cheap price."
Yep. Where do you get those mystery boxes where you don't know what's in them?
Oh yeah, I love those.
Really?
I really do. Yeah, I really do. You know, sometimes you get some good finds, sometimes it's all jank. But if it's jank, I pull the jank aside and say, "Hey, that jank goes towards my Halloween fund. Whenever I any dupes I have, I always give out to the kids instead of candy around Halloween."
Oh yeah, I'm always foisting duplicate comics off on the kids in the family. Man, it has been the struggle of my life to try to get one kid in my next generation of family to interested in comic books. And they always go into the comic book store, buy a couple of comics, and they're immediately diverted to Funko.
Oh yeah. For some reason, not all my chat's coming up onto the chat on the side here, but the collector, he says, "Always a pleasure. I've been collecting for 40 years. Came into creation and production of comics and action figures here in." He's in Mexico, and even run a brick and mortar shop. So he has info. I definitely would be excited to bring you on the show one day. Now the collector, he hangs out with us over on a few of the other shows that I take part in. He says, but you tell me I would be thrilled and humbled to participate one day. So yeah, we'll send you an invite to one of the next shows that we do. We're usually on Tuesdays, but if Fridays turn out better in the numbers, we might even do a Friday show if Dan's up for it. So regarding Dark Horse, they're also unionizing after a lot of layoffs. Now, Dark Horse, when I was younger, they were very much indie. It seems to me like now they're getting bigger titles, so I wouldn't call them the indie market anymore. But and they're unionizing, so this could hurt Dark Horse on the comic book side.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
These small unions are always focused, as far as I can tell. I've never had to mess with them, but from what I hear in the media, these small unions are always focused on the wants of the employees more than the needs of the business. So they'll make demands of, better hours, more pay, more benefits, all this. But the company might not be able to sustain financially that stuff. And so that company is just going to bleed to death, and those people are going to be out of work. And then there will be another comic industry, another pillar of the comic book industry shutting down. I don't see how this is going to be a good thing for the company. Those employees might find some, short-term benefits for themselves, but in the long run, I don't think it's a good idea.
I really worry about the comic book industry. I grew up, with comic books, and so like with what I see, it worries me. Like the drastic changes, like DC DC's been part of Warner Brothers for a long time, but then Marvel acquired by Disney. Like, I mean, we knew that Marvel was struggling since the 70s when Stan Lee started leasing out characters for television rights, and then in the 90s, yet once again, and with the second leasing with for movie rights. And
yeah, if any of you were wondering how Fox ended up with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, and Sony ended up with Spider-Man, you can thank Stan Lee for that.
Although a lot of people don't really like it, it did put a second wind in Marvel. I worry that like a lot of the like if he wouldn't have leased them out, the TV series rights and also the movie rights during the 70s and 90s, we wouldn't have Marvel Comics at all to this far, because they were struggling drastically. I think that Marvel was struggling even quite longer before that, the comic book industry has never been well treated by anybody other than a few collectors and kids who were getting their comic books off of spinner racks at the supermarket. So like, and we see the digitization with webtoons, and a few years, I think it was like the early 2000s, they started doing the code at the beginning of the book where you can go to a website and get like a digital issue of some of the storylines they were doing exclusively to marvel.com or whatever.
Mm-mm.
The collector says if Dark Horse gives up on its core, it will let's see. It will. Let's see. If Dark Horse gives up on its core, it will break. watch Hasbro and learn. But no, they all seem to prefer to do Atari and Sega moves. That is true. I think like particularly with going in the way of Hasbro, particularly with what they're doing with Wizards of the Coast, if Dark Horse keeps going in this direction, it could absolutely hurt them in that case scenario as well. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what was going on with Hasbro's side of Hasbro with Wizards of the Coast and how they've been kind of like struggling with Dungeons and Dragons. And that's part of the reason why they had to absorb Dungeons and Dragons into fully into Wizards of the Coast and even share continuity with Magic the Gathering. Is Dungeons and Dragons was pretty much struggling and dying, but then they kept on editing and changing. And now the next rendition of Dungeons and Dragons allegedly is going to be all digital. They're trying to get rid of the book and paper dungeon masters and have make the dungeon masters digital, so that way you will always play off of their campaigns.
So an AI would be your dungeon master?
Yeah, or a preset choose your own adventure style character line.
That sounds awful. That's the antithesis of what Dungeons and Dragons was invented to be.
Yeah. It really sucks. The collector says, now my perspective on the comic books is very different. Physical media, due to forced digitization, becomes a thing again, and creativity is exploding once unleashed from cooperative cooperative industry. We could see a new run of like storylines. I don't know if like I don't see the physical medium dying anytime soon.
Especially not the collector market.
Well, yeah, they want the collector market. They want those people who are going to FOMO and buy now. I think that the print market will last. They're just gonna, from what I see, they are probably just gonna cut the market. They're probably going to do a lot less prints.
Well, I tell you what, I'll fix it for Marvel and DC right now. I will give them the business model that they need to follow. Me and my infinite knowledge of business and comic book industries and publishing. I would get my core titles, like less than a dozen. Spider-Man, X-Men, Avengers, Hulk, Captain America, Thor. Get your core titles. Cancel and don't put anything else as an ongoing series. Just have your core best-selling titles as your ongoing series. And then for all your B-tier characters, have them do guest stars, do limited mini-series with those characters, but quit trying to give the Punisher, Squirrel Girl, Carol Danvers,
Agreed.
Kamala Khan. Quit trying to give all of them ongoing series. It's bleeding you dry. Keep your best sellers as ongoing series. Do guest star spots and mini series for everybody else. No exceptions.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree to that sentiment. I just hate Squirrel Girl with a passion. Now, I co-host for a Magic the Gathering channel that loves squirrels. If you're a Magic the Gathering fan, you understand the squirrel connection, but the guy I co-host for, he's waiting for more Squirrel Girl. And I keep on saying, please don't say that on your stream. Don't say that out loud. Disney's listening to everything. We don't want more Squirrel Girl.
And if we get her, it should be a mini series or a guest spot.
Yes, a guest spot. See, I wouldn't mind seeing a Squirrel Girl miniseries. Just don't go overboard with it. Don't give it more than one season, and make it a really miniseries, like 4 episodes.
Like, yeah, and wait until you've got a really compelling story to tell.
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
hee slice of life crap.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So the collector says physical media is becoming less important in the Western world, but not where he's at in Mexico. By the way, collector is German living in Mexico. Right
That
on.
must have been
Right
an
on.
interesting transition.
Food definitely probably changed. Music probably hasn't. I mean, I guess. I mean, in Mexico, you get a lot of the Oompa Oompa music.
Yep.
But then again, I think of Germany and I think, okay, I want to do Oktoberfest, and Oktoberfest has uh, the accordion music that I like. He said, imagine that here the neighbors are still coming around to watch football in my garden, as I am one of three who can provide access. So it's still the 1960s there.
Yeah. Hey, there's some parts of the world where you can't reliably get streaming. I mean, I've got family or in West Virginia. I used to go up there all the time. All right. And this is in the US. It was like traveling back in time. There was no internet service, there was no cell service. They barely had working telephones. I mean, there are some places where it is still very, very difficult to get streaming. So I
Oh,
can
yeah.
imagine that in some countries that are there where the whole country is less affluent than places like America or Europe, that there would be large swaths of the country that just did not have access to global communications like that.
I imagine that that being able to be in an area that we take for granted, where you get internet access, whether it be satellite, digital, or whatnot. Uh, we take that for granted quite a bit. I know that a lot of people are kind of like mad at like Sony, for example, because of this whole switch out of physical media, and particularly in countries that don't have readily available internet access. So like I do hope that these major corporations, and even the smaller ones that are growing, like Dark Horse, a smaller company that's growing, I do hope that they remember that there are the collectors, there are people in areas that don't get digital, and we want to have something that we can add to our collections and potentially have as maybe a nest egg. Well, I'm not a collector for financial reasons. I like to collect for my being able to sit down and actively read something without having a device in my face all the time, even though I sit like 8 hours a day in front of a computer. Um,
Exactly. Why would you want to do that then on your free time?
right. So like, don't kill the comic book industry. Don't kill like, uh, the physical media industry. Keep it going. Remember to support your mom and pop's comic book shops. I can't express that enough. And if you see a comic book shop that is going out of business, buy as much of their stock as possible, so that way at least that reseller can have a little bit to survive on. Um,
And
I
give
do,
comics to kids. Try to get them interested.
yeah. Like I said earlier, one of the things I do is I buy these huge long boxes from random blind sales on eBay, and whatever I don't find that'll fill my collection, that's Halloween material. Instead of giving out candy, give out comic books. um I think that's pretty much it that's on my list. Do you have anything that you want to cover?
Not off the top of my head. My head's been elsewhere this week, so I didn't really have anything coming in. Um, but we were talking about Dark Horse unionizing. I think I remember hearing that Image employees, Image Comics, that their employees were trying to unionize Image, and I don't remember what came of that. So I might have to look into that and see if I can draw any parallels to what might happen with Dark Horse.
We'll probably cover that. Why don't we cover that next week, and we'll see if there's any information that we can go, and we'll go through, and we can probably have like some idea, and next week we can expand on this conversation just a little bit. If there's anything out there that you guys in Chatland would like to see us cover, make sure that you send a message or comment on the stream, either on YouTube or on X, and we'd be glad to cover that. Just real quick, speaking of X, so twitter.com, x.com, you can donate to the channel by taking a screenshot of this image and using that QR code. Or if you have a smart device, you can click on the QR code and it'll take you right to our Twitter X donation page. Any help that you can do will keep a watermark off our show. It be very helpful. Also, we have some things going on the in the Twitter and our friends in the community. I have restarted my Cowboy Dance feature artist because a few of my AI art friends and a few of my other art friends have started creating fan images and also just community images of our characters. And this one right here is a version of my character in a Star Trek type uniform, made by Theta of Nerd Archaeology. Thank you very much, Theta, for making that for me. I really appreciate it. I love it. And also our friend Bo, the PFP guy, he made a full body character of my guy. Apparently I got in trouble for unauthorized space launch attempt and disturbing the peace with spur clacking and illegal possession of cowboy gear. I don't know how that's illegal, but I suppose it is. If you want to support the channel on in other directions, you always can go over to w.com using the QR code right at the bottom of this right here, and you can get yourself a small tub of W energy drink. 1 scoop a day will give you the caffeine and energy that a cup of coffee will give you, and it is pure natural caffeine, not something with preservatives or anything. And it's not like Monster Energy drink where it'll give you a rush and then leave you kind of tired afterwards. A lot of people, or it will also give you the heart pounding palpitations that it gives me when I drink Monster or Red Bull. Get yourself some Dubby energy drink. I prefer the Dub Sludge. It's a pretty good flavor, even though the name sounds kind of awkward. Feel free to pick that up for $39.99. And if you click on the link, you do get automatically into your cart a Cowboy Dan discount. And the Cowboy Dan discount is if it doesn't add up into your cart, you can always add in KJCBD 26 for a discount. And once again, we do have our official morning dive and a coffee mug starting at $14 US for the 11 ounce, and for the next size up, it's $15. And you will also get a discount on it. Here's the coffee cup once again. We just started selling that on their website. It does look like a Denny's cup, but that's the gag. Feel free to get it and drink your coffee while watching a morning dive and a coffee with me and Dollar Bin Dan. Really appreciate all y'all joining us here for our 10th episode celebration. 10 episodes of this show, and a good majority of it has been co-hosted by my man Dollar Bin Dan. Thank you for being here with me almost the entire time that we've been doing this, and hopefully our show starts to grow and we're able to grow the channels and get some monetization on the channel, so that way we can afford to keep a watermark off the show. Um, on that note, do you have any thing coming up that you want to let everybody know about, or?
Let's see. Lanterns premieres on Sunday. Give it a chance before you
Oh
start
yeah,
ripping it up on the internet.
I really want to see it, but once again, I'm a Guy Gardner fan.
Well, he'll be there.
Yeah, yeah, he will. He will be there. Let's see if chat has any last minute things that they want to say. He says the collector says, "Oh yeah, my life changed 100%. Also very typical German since he moved. So he's very typical German. He adapted and started to lift up the place around him. That was 20 years ago." And he's established by now.
Well, if you're not established
Which
after 20
is,
years,
hey, it takes us some time. I never put down roots, no matter where I'm at. So, it gets kind of hard. But so hopefully we're still able to see good comic books come out of Dark Horse, even if they do limit. Is I would like to see some more of the Hellboy series. I would like to see The Mask. I think they're still producing The Mask. I'm not entirely certain, but those were some Hellboy and The Mask or Dark Horse.
is
As we
Hellboy
said,
still
they're
an
doing.
ongoing series?
I believe it is. At least in small runs, I believe. I don't know if they have like a full on run of it or not. I I don't go out of my way to buy Hellboy, but I should.
I liked some of the early stuff. But that was one of those books that I just could never stick with.
Being able to stick with a line, I'm a Marvel guy, most of the time, Marvel and some DC. So like those are the first things I spend my money on, and with the price of comic books being between $5 and $7 nowadays, depending on what line you're looking at, it starts to add up.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money to put into investing in comics.
Oh, 100%. Especially if you're a casual reader who's just going to pick it up, read it, and put it back down. $5 is just an enormous amount of money to put down on a 15-minute read.
Oh, absolutely. Make sure you go to x.com, give Dollar Bin Dan a follow. We're trying to build up his following, and you can also follow me on x.com by clicking the little QR code right there. And I as well am trying to build up the following over there, so that way we have a legitimate reason to keep streaming the show over there as well.
And no
Right
AI
now
sex bots,
we are
please.
on. Oh yeah, no AI sex bots. With the exception of my AI artist friends, let's keep the AI down to a minimum. Give me all the AI art you want, but yeah, we'll leave the sex bots out. You can join us on Discord if you want to join my Discord server. I'm working on doing a full revamp on that, and eventually we're going to be doing a whole series of Backstage with Cowboy Dan. Hopefully, I'll be. If I get everything all set up, I'm going to probably do a Backstage with Cowboy Dan call-in show where people can find me in the backstage chats over there on Discord, and they can ask questions, and the best ones will get put up on one of the lives, whether it be here or one of the other shows I do. You can find me, if you're not already over there right now, on YouTube. And that's where a good majority of the VODs for this show and other shows will be found. So far, everything that we've covered has not aged like milk, so you can actually go back and watch relevant topics of a morning dive and a coffee. If you want to support the channel some way other than like using the x.com donation link, we do have a Ko-Fi donation page where you can support the channel and donate to us on Ko-Fi. And for the price of a coffee, you can have yourself mentioned in the end credits. That's one of the things that I've been doing lately is I've been adding donors to our credits with a little animation. Or you can support by going to throne.com, where we have a list of tech and things that we need for the show. Also, just some fun stuff that you can crowdsource. Like we're looking to get a couple of new microphones. We're looking to get a new camera so that way we can have a downward facing camera for when we do comic book reads. And there's going to be a few other things that we're looking to get in the lines of tech. So if you want to crowdsource towards helping us move forward in that venue as well, you can. Thank you very much for joining us. Here is our theme song. Be safe, everybody, and have a wonderful day.
Welcome, travelers. The coffee's hot. The signal is coming through. It's time for morning dive and a coffee. Woo! Wake up screaming through the morning haze. Sun's coming up on the old highway. Chrome shining bright on a brand new day. Pull into the diner, take a seat inside. Coffee on the table, join us for the ride. Caffeinated frequencies, it's just right. Neon signs glowing in the morning sun. Another day starting, another adventure's begun. There's a cowboy broadcasting from far away with 1,000-year story to tell today. Cowboy Dan signal crosses the line from the year 3020 back through time. A head in a jar with a dream to share. Sending stories through the digital air. Morning dive and a coffee. Pull up a chair and spend some time. Morning dive and a coffee. Pour another cup, let the conversation roll. Old memories, new stories, and a curious soul. From the open road to the edge of the sky, we're taking the dive, so come along for the ride. Morning dive and a coffee. Fuel the machine and ignite the day. Morning dive and a coffee. Around the corner comes the morning's crew. Familiar faces with a story or two. Dollar bin Dan's got treasures to share. Comic book memories floating through the air. Flipping through pages, chasing the past. Finding old heroes that forever last. From classic adventures and legends untold to the stories that made us brave and bold. Around this Route 66 diner table we meet with coffee, laughter, and a front row seat. No map required, no road signs needed. Just follow the stories wherever they're leading. From the cartoon realm where the impossible lives, to the future where the signal still gives. A little bit cowboy, a little bit strange. 1,000 years later, some things never change. The wheels keep turning, the radio plays. We're chasing memories through the highways. Morning dive and a coffee. Pull up a chair and spend some time. Morning dive and a coffee. Coffee cups shaking, the jukebox sings. Talking about heroes and forgotten things. Through every story, every laugh, every mile, the morning keeps rolling with a classic style. Morning dive and a coffee. Join the ride and stay a while. Morning dive and a coffee. The coffee is hot. This is morning dive and a coffee.